Hi there, guys. Welcome back to Anything Blows. My name is Andrew Dika, and I'm joined today by my great friend, DennisBuzukja. Dennis is a professional featherweight MMA fighter with a record of 10 wins, 2 losses. He's a current Ring of Combat and current 145-pound champion at Maverick MMA. Dennis has also fought in Bellator, and he's also had wins in Dana White's Contender Series. Dennis, how are you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you? Thanks for having me, first of all.
Oh, really appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Who would have thought 3 years ago that this all started on our Instagram Live, and now I'm having the opportunity to record you and have a video for YouTube?
I have the opportunity to be on an interview with you, man. What are you talking about?
I'm going to be the next Ariel Helwani.
You're going to be better. You're going to be better.
Thank you. So, how is training going, Dennis?
Training's good, bro. Actually, me and Matt Favola just sparred yesterday. He's fighting May 6th at the Prudential Center. He's fighting Drew Dober, so I just sparred him yesterday, 3 5-minute rounds. But I had to stay southpaw the whole time, so that was honestly like one of my best sparring sessions, bro. I think I might be southpaw from now on. I don't know. We'll see.
As you mentioned, that was going to be one of my later questions, but we'll jump right into it. What are your predictions for Matt's fight against Drew Dober? How's he looking in camp, and what do you think about that fight?
Matt's looking amazing. I mean, Drew Dober's a killer. Obviously, he's been on fire lately, especially as of late. I think Matt has just a better game. He's coming into his own now. He's been consistent. Not that he hasn't been consistent before, but he's on a roll. His confidence is up. He just finished 2 undefeated guys in the first round. So I think he's finishing Dober in the second round, second or third round submission.
I see that too, and it's an all-American matchup, which is even more beautiful. How is it training at Serra-Longo Fight Gym with such high-level athletes, such as current bantamweight champion of the world, Aljamain Sterling, number 1 or number 2 ranked bantamweight of the world, Merab Dvalishvili, Matt, as you said, and so many others there. Oh, he's number 1, yeah?
Yeah, I had to put that out there. Only because I know how hard he works, and I'm proud that he's number 1 as a friend and as a teammate. And our team, the Serra-Longo team, we're a family. It's not like a big gym like Extreme, Couture, or Syndicate in Vegas, or ATT.
American top team.
It's just some guys from Long Island, man, from New York, who we just train together. We push each other. We know how to fight. We have that heart. We have what we believe in. We have our reasons to fight. And we just push each other, and we want to see each other succeed. And that's something we have that nowhere really else in the world has. I see like maybe All City Kickboxing, like Izzy and Volkanovski's team, they have that feel. So that's what makes them strong as well. But we just push each other, man. And to see like Chris Weidman become world champ, and Matt Serra, and now Aljamain, who's one of my main training partners and sparring partners, and he's dominating the 135-pound division, and Merab as well. It's a great feeling for me, and it's a confidence boost. And it shows me that this is a real tangible thing. It's not just a dream. It's real. Like getting to the UFC, of course, is real. That's not even a question. But like being the world champion and being the number 1 guy in the world, like this is a real thing with hard work, and it all comes with hard work. There's no secrets to it, and these guys show me that.
That's what I said to Matt the other day, and I genuinely love that, because I said to him, going 5 years back, watching Ali Quinto, watching Chris Weidman, every time someone fights from Serra-Longo Fight Team, it's a family. You'll either have someone in the corner or you have someone in the stands. So how is it having those experience, being able to be in the corner of Aljamain Sterling in Abu Dhabi, and being able, obviously, Matt said, and so many other people have said, you're the only fighter right now that has the experience and has the fame of being a UFC fighter, but actually isn't a UFC fighter. How does it feel? How does it feel being able to be in everyone's corner and view it firsthand and get as much experience as possible, so when the main stage does come, you can put it all to fruition?
Yeah, for me, it's it's a privilege, honestly, to be around these guys. I have something at least that I can help them with. It's an honor for me to be able to provide them something that helps them be where they are. And like you said, if it's not being in the corner, the guys are in the stands. They're in the back room. We all follow each other and help each other wherever we go. Whether it's in America or it's in Abu Dhabi, I went and cornered Aljamain in Abu Dhabi. These experiences, man, there's nothing like them. Money can't buy them. nothing can get them except really just sweating and bleeding together with my teammates. And we're brothers at the end of the day. We're more than just teammates. We're brothers. We bleed together. That's something a lot of people can't say. I think like maybe military people could really feel the what we feel, especially when one of us wins. But like these guys have primed me, like Al, Marab, Aljo. They've gotten me ready for the big stage and for the biggest, brightest light. So once I get to the UFC, I'm at their doorstep now. So they've gotten me ready for these bright lights and for these big moments. You know, I was never as nervous as I was as when I walked out with Aljo for Peter Yan's second fight. You know, right when we were about to walk out and like the arena was thumping and blasting and just the pressure from a big fight like this, I was like, I have never in my life been that nervous. Not even for any of my fights. For my fights, I don't care. But experience and like what's on the line, you know, this after 13 months of people talking about him and just, you know, saying he's faking it and all the stress he went through and how hard he worked, man, and seeing what he put into it, it's just like, all right, this is it now. This is the moment. I'm getting chills right now. And being there, about to walk out with him and feel the pressure from the crowd, I swear to God, I could go fight for the UFC belt tomorrow and I would not care. I would not have that same pressure that I felt for Aljo. And then seeing Aljo handle that the way he did, he was dancing on the way to the cage. So being there, sharing that energy with the man, I feel unstoppable when I have these guys next to me.
I love that, man, and that's true. I remember here in the UK, and I know I've told you before, the UFC isn't the biggest thing in the world here, and it's only starting to progress. We just had a title bout, Usman and Edwards in the UK, the second British champion ever. I remember going in the streets in London, you go talking, everyone says Aljo's a clown. Everyone says Aljo faked it. I'm like, okay, you get your, I don't want to swear, but you get your head kneed in. I didn't like it because I don't like how people can talk about other fighters when they haven't been it for themselves. And I do really respect that. And one thing Sarah Longa does do, just like City Kickboxing, just like ATT, many different people's made different fighters, like Nazim, like Armando and yourself, from different backgrounds, Marab from Georgia, Aljo, Jamaican, but British, and regardless of backgrounds, you've brought a family together and you're conquering the UFC. So, speaking more on you, is there any fight news soon and what's going on with the UFC?
We were talking for UAE Warriors again, May 20th in Abu Dhabi. That's a possibility. But really what it is for me now is just stay ready. The UFC said just stay ready for a short notice opportunity. I'm on a 6-fight win streak now. A few finishes. I don't even know how many finishes I have. But it's just really just keeping my weight low, training hard, staying ready. And then when I get that call, the Bahamandas pulled out his opponent pulled out for April 8th. They put my name in there, but they had it sorted out. It looks like Trey Ogden, his fight fell through last week, so he took a short notice fight at a catchweight 160. So it's just like, it'll be like this, man. The opportunity will come. I just have to stay ready. But in the meantime, I do want to stay active. So I'm going to maybe book May 20th in Abu Dhabi if it happens, if the UFC doesn't call. And to just stay active and keep fighting, man. I'm young, I'm healthy. There's no reason to not keep fighting. And then the more wins, the more finishes I get, the more it'll just cement my spot in the UFC. And then we go there and just take over that league as well.
One last thing, just before I go into the next question. Speaking on Aljamain Sterling as well, I spoke to him, like, obviously Alja's a busy man. We see him at NBA games, we see him at baseball and hockey games. I went live with him 2 years ago after Dustin beat Conor the second time, and I gave him some words of motivation. I said, keep your head up and everything like that. And I saw clown comments all the way on the IG lives, and to now just silence a hater, the best thing in life isn't words, it's actions, and actions speak louder than words. So you were saying about UAE Warriors. How was that last fight out there? How was the trip in general, and how was it fighting at 155 at lightweight?
Oh man, the United Emirates is like, it's so my favorite place in the world. I'll say this: my favorite place in the world is Albania in the summer. Summertime in Albania. Dubai, good weather, and Abu Dhabi is almost up there on that level for me. I love that place so much. It's such a great place. Great people, great food, great culture. Everyone's so polite and friendly. There's no aggression. There's no looking over your shoulder. The experience was great. The people were great. Like I said, the promotion, UAE Warriors, was phenomenal. The promoter was amazing. The staff, everything was just great, man. And They took care of us. They cared about us as fighters, and
Mhm.
I love the whole experience. Uh, I'm sorry. What was the second part of the question? Because it was a bit.
How's it fighting at lightweight at 155?
Yes. Actually, a lot of my fights have been at lightweight. I was thinking about that earlier, right before we got on the interview. I was like, man, a lot of my fights and a lot of my knockouts have been at lightweight. I enjoyed it, man. I didn't have to cut as much weight. The weight cut at 145 kills me. I think in the near future, definitely 155 will be my solid weight class division that I'll be fighting in. But I still have business at 145 first. But I definitely loved fighting at 155. I didn't feel like smaller or anything. I felt much healthier and just sharper overall. So I think in the future, 155 is definitely going to be where I'm going to be.
Just on a personal note, when you fought that fight, I was roaring, and I think it was God that did this, and it was someone like higher up, and just it was fate that finally, for the first time, you're not fighting at 1 or 4 a.m. in the morning in the UK. The one time you fight, it's 3 p.m. and it clashed with a soccer game I had. You walked out literally the same time my team walked out, and I was like, right, do I want to watch this? My team's been pretty bad this season, or do I want to watch Dennis? And I was just praying for internet, because internet service in stadiums is terrible. And I was watching you walk out, and I was like, Austin, can you take a picture of me in this, because I want to send it to you after. And I was so focused on you, honestly, and I was like, no one else am I more nervous for fights. Not only knowing you as a personal person, as a friend, but just as an Albanian fighter and someone who represents our nation. And to have Matt out there with you and watching that finish, like, I can't explain it. I tell you again, there's no other feeling like an Albanian winning in MMA and in boxing, but you specifically, because you are special. People will soon realize that in the future. We spoke about Drew's fight. What is your opinion on Aljamain's fight? He will be the last man to walk out on May 6th, Newark, New Jersey, UFC 288 against former bantamweight champion and flyweight champion Henry Cejudo, Olympic medalist, who hasn't fought in 3 years. So what's your opinion?
Look, Henry's Henry Cejudo for a reason. Gold medalist in the Olympics. That's how many people in the world can say that. He's tough. He's two weight division champion in the UFC. Again, how many people can say that? There's no denying he is one of the greatest combat sport athletes in history. I have to give credit where credit is due, even though he's cringy as hell. I'm not really a fan of him, but his skills are his skills for a reason, and it's this is a good fight for Aljo to show how good he is. People talk shit about Dion, Dillashaw had one arm. People just try to write him off. I think once Aljo makes it look easy with Cejudo, they're gonna try to write off that he didn't fight for 3 years. Mm-hmm. I think Cejudo's gonna come out strong, and Aljo's gonna have to, keep up what he does best. And I do see Aljo finishing him. I'm not gonna say how, because he has his game plans, and we're not gonna go into that. And I'm obviously not gonna give away anything.
Yep.
But I see the finish for Aljo, and I think he's gonna shock a lot of people this fight, and people are really going to respect him after he finishes Cejudo, and they're going to put him in the conversations as the greatest bantamweight of all time. I already have him there already. Yeah. I think he's in his prime. I think Cejudo's coming off a 3-year layoff, and even if he wasn't, doesn't matter. Aljo's still Aljo. It could be the best Cejudo that ever touched this planet going in there against him, and Aljo's going to finish him just because of how hard he's working and where his skills are at, where his confidence is. And he's confident but still humble. Mm-hmm. He's not cocky in any way. No. So, and it keeps me and the team grounded as well to see Aljamain going out there and dominating TJ like that as well, and fighting Jan, who it went from Jan by whatever he wants, Jan by murder, Jan first round, to split decision. If Jan's this boogeyman and Aljo won split decision, that puts him on the same level. Even if they draw it, or even if Jan won by split decision, that puts Aljo right at that same level as him. So I think after this, people are going to really start respecting Aljo after he finishes Cejudo. And they're going to start going back and really looking at his body of work and see what he's done. Because Aljo's fought some of the best guys in the world for the longest time. It's not like he fought 2 or 3 good guys. He fought prospects coming up, and he beat so many people and finished so many people. So 2 split decision losses, and he just got caught one time by Marlon.
Yeah.
Going in with a takedown, like that shot will knock anyone out. He just got caught. And those split decision losses that he lost at the time. So you could argue he only has 1 loss to Marlon, arguably. depending on a different judge or whatever. So I think people are really going to start to respect him a lot more after he beats Cejudo, which I'm happy to see.
He also beat one of the bantamweight goats in TJ Dillashaw. He also beat Corey Sandhagen, who just won over Marlon Vera the other night, who's currently ranked third, I believe, right now. So that matchup could happen again, and he can improve him. And just one thing about the Peter Yan fight. I know it wasn't in Russia, but it was in the UAE. Hostile territory where it's all his fans there. Everything was against him. He was, I don't know on the bookies odds, but he definitely wasn't favourite, and everyone didn't have him winning. And like I said, to prove him wrong, and Matt was saying that he's a huge inspiration, not only to you guys as fighters, but as a team. He loves like taking care of the sessions. And I watched Aljo's documentary a few years ago, and it was really heartfelt and touching. And people don't know that side of people. And once you get to see something like that, obviously for the hardcore fans like me, it's a little bit different. But for the casuals that just want to put their tweet on Twitter, yeah. It's different. So, what is your opinion on the 145-pound division in the UFC? What is your opinion on the current champion, Alexander Volkanovski? And there's another fight coming up, Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. Who do you see with that? Sorry, that's a bit too much, but I'll break it down.
No, the division right now, honestly, is not what it used to be when McGregor was there. Aldo, Max Holloway at his prime kind of fell off a little bit. I mean, Volkanovski's obviously he's just absolutely phenomenal. He's a legend. He earns the name the Great. And he's Albanian. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
Macedonian, Illyrian. That's how.
Yeah.
But he's phenomenal. Max Holloway's he's one of my favorite fighters. I think he's amazing. That's a tough fight for him and Arnold, man, because Arnold comes out strong. We haven't seen him in the later rounds really, and Arnold's huge for the division. Physically huge. He's a southpaw. Max, everyone has primes at different times. Did his prime pass him? It's hard to say. I think skill for skill, I think Max Holloway is the better fighter. Maybe Arnold Allen, it depends at the point in their career. Maybe Arnold Allen is just hungrier right now. He wants that spot. Who knows how Max will be after that loss to Volkanovski. Is he the same fighter that he was before? It's hard to really know. It depends what's in Max Holloway's heart. I think skill for skill, Max Holloway is the better fighter. I think if he's in his best shape and Arnold Allen's in his best shape, I think Max will win. Still a big fight for Arnold Allen, though. He's a dog, too.
Yeah.
The rest of the division's whack, man. Nobody's really done anything, I look at these guys and I'm like, I would love to fight any of them on any day. I feel like I could definitely fare well against the top five right now. Of course, like guys like Max Holloway and Volkanovski. Who else? Anyone else?
Yair Rodriguez, current interim champion.
Yair's very good. Yeah, Yair's amazing. He's very tricky and tough to fight. Besides those three guys, because of experience and the factor that they've been in there more than me, but besides that, I think everyone else I fare very well against, and I would finish a lot of them. The only one who I think, honestly, though, in my honest opinion, is the best featherweight in the division, besides Volkanovski, is Ilia Topuria. I think he's going to finish Josh Emmett. Ilia's an amazing fighter.
Crazy knockout power.
Oh, my God. And his jiu-jitsu, his wrestling, everything is insane. I remember watching his first 2-3 fights. Or when he knocked out Damon Jackson, I was like, this guy is something special. I would say he's the toughest guy in the division, even with Volkanovski there, especially because he's young. He's one guy, he's special. But the rest of them, man, besides Max and Yair and Volkanovski, like I've said, I think I beat all of them. On their best night, on my best night, put me against them and I'll beat all of them. And I'll finish a lot of them, in my opinion. Of course, actions speak louder than words, but
yes.
Besides those top three guys and Ilia, I think I finish any guy in the featherweight division.
What about Brian Ortega?
Ortega's washed up, man. He used to be good. He had his come up, but he's breaking apart too. And his style is to just take damage and then catch you in a submission or maybe just wear you out. He never really beat anybody great. Who did he beat? Clay Guida. He's getting the shit beat out of him. Who else? He had a great fight with Volkanovski. Don't get me wrong. That fourth round where he had the submission, but then he got butchered by Volkanovski. He got absolutely demolished by Holloway. Am I wrong? I don't know who else he beat. Who did he beat?
Off the top of
Is
my
there
head,
anyone?
no,
Yeah, I
I
can't think.
can't.
I
He's
really
only
can't
known
think
from
of anyone.
losses, not in a bad way. Just the Holloway and the Volk fight.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he has heart, bro. He has unquestionable heart. He has,
Hmm.
there's no denying that. He's a strong Mexican. Mexicans are very strong people. Obviously
Yeah.
great submission skills, but he's not like a phenomenal fighter.
Mm.
Good looking guy. He won like the hearts of many fans. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And his heart. That's really what won him as a fan favorite. But otherwise, I don't think he's amazing. He's not a killer like that.
No.
Going back to it, Volkanovski, Yair, Holloway, and Ilya. These guys are absolute monsters.
Hmm.
Um, I would love to share the cage with them as a competitor. I would love to share the cage with them, but anyone else, I just see them as obstacles for me, and I just have to get them out of my way. And to test myself, of course. But besides these four, everyone else, I
Yeah.
respect them, but in the cage, I won't respect them.
A few more questions about you now. So, whatever the promotion is, whether it be the UFC, where is your dream location to fight? And we've seen Florian Marko in the past bring boxing to Tirana in the National Stadium. Is it possible to get the UFC back to Albania in the future and possibly your hometown of Shkodër?
It just gave me chills thinking about it. Two locations are my dreams. One is a title fight, whether it's fighting for the title or maybe like a retirement fight in Madison Square Garden in New York City. That's a
Hometown.
dream for me. A championship fight in Madison Square Garden. That's absolutely like headlining. That's my point. Headlining Madison Square Garden, which means it would be for a title
Mm.
in Madison Square Garden. That would be an absolute dream come true for me. And then also, yeah, in Albania, either the Air Stadium in Tirana or the stadium in Shkodër, headlining an event there for the UFC. That would be those two things are at the top of my list. But that comes with being the champion. So I have a long road to that, to this goal. First I have to get to the UFC. They're all milestones. Each
Yeah, of
fight is the
course.
biggest fight of my life, but the milestones are get to the UFC and then become champion, and then from there, uh, main event in Madison Square Garden, possibly a retirement fight in Shibli in Albania as the main event. So you never
Yeah.
know. You never know what the future holds. God's plans are greater than ours. Whatever
Yeah.
is God's plan, let it be. But I think anything is possible if we set our standards there. And there's a saying like shoot, aim for the stars and land on the clouds. So that's what I'm going for, man. I want to do something special for the world and in the sport and in the legacy, and for Albania and for my family. Like it's just for everything and for me, of course. This is a solo sport, but there's a lot that goes into it. I just want to make everyone proud, man. We do things that have not been done before.
And of course, Conor was the first one to take the UFC back to Ireland, and I truly believe you'll be the first one to take the UFC back home to Albania. It's never been to Albania. It's rarely been in Europe. It's been in Copenhagen. It's been in Russia. It's been in Sweden. It's been in Holland. It's been in London, all the major European regions, but it's never been in Albania. And I feel now we've got so many Albanian athletes, and with the rise of our fans and our fan base, that I truly do believe you'll be the first one to headline there. And Dana says he doesn't like doing stadium fights, but put 13,000 in Shkodër, put 25,000 in Tirana. He'll feel the atmosphere. We've seen with Florian Marko. I truly do believe you're going to be the first one to do it. We caught up on this slightly earlier, and obviously how you said one step at a time. And obviously every time you fight, brother, you're bringing so many new fans, and Albanians support each other, one another regardless. But for me, knowing you and knowing who you are, you're one of the most humble people I've ever met. You've got a great heart. You're an honest human being. There's not a bad bone in your body or bad blood in your body, whatever the saying is. And I truly do believe when the people see you, not only as an athlete, not only as a fighter, but as a person outside the cage. And when they do a documentary on you one day in the future, they'll get to see the real DennisBuzukja. And when would you move up in the future? Obviously, we said one step at a time, but when would you consider lightweight?
First of all, bro, I really appreciate these words. You're a sweetheart. You're amazing, bro. And, you I can't help but smile, and hearing things like this keeps me humble. I really appreciate you and these words and where it comes from, because I know it comes from a genuine place. So God bless you before anything, and I really appreciate that, brother.
Thank
So
you, bro.
That was nice. That was really nice to hear.
Appreciate it.
You're getting me all emotional, man.
Yeah, but you make me proud too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. 155. I definitely have to go get that belt to 145 first. And then once it's like all said and done, and then there's nothing left for me at 145, let's say,
Hmm.
then I would move up to 155. But that would have to be much later on in my career,
Yeah.
or if I feel like the weight cut's really damaging me and my
Hmm.
performances, then it makes sense. I would have to move up to 155, but I definitely want to chase the gold at featherweight in the UFC first, and
Hmm.
a few defenses in a perfect world. This is the game plan, and then move up. But we'll see.
And
Like I said, whatever God holds in store for me.
And lastly, because I don't want to be keeping you too long. So, one about you for the fans that don't know, where did the passion, and you've probably answered this on previous interviews, previous podcasts, but where did the passion, where did the inspiration and the aspiration come to become an MMA fighter? And when did you start MMA?
Man, to be honest with you, I started training at 8. I've always been into like active, like just being active. It was always my type of thing, sports or running or just being outside, like just moving my body. Um, when I was 8 years old, I filled out like a slip, without my parents knowing. We were at a grocery store. There was like a gi in a glass case, and I filled out my name and like my home phone number for a free trial. And they called. They called my house. My mom was like, "What?" She's like, "When did we fill this out?" She was like, "For my son." And then I realized what it was. I was like, "Mom." I was like, "I did it. Yeah, it was me." She was like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "You got a free month." I didn't even know what I was filling out. I was 8 years old, but I just put my name on it. There was a pen there, just because I liked it. So I just always trained growing up. Just in like combat sports, whether it was in the boxing gym or karate or judo. I'm saying these because these are my backgrounds, what I came
Of
up with.
course.
And then jiu-jitsu. I was always training. And then one time, like one of my old coaches, Freddie, he's a great friend still to this day. He had told me, he was like, "Yo, do you want to do an MMA fight?" It was like 2 weeks before. I was like, I would always work out just for fun, just because I loved it. That's my point there. It came from the passion of just loving working out and loving training and getting better and learning martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, sure, why not? I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just remember getting to the place and I'm like, yeah, like so naive, like, oh, getting my hands wrapped. And then, and then I started hearing the crowd going crazy. And then like, and then I started understanding. I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking real, man. Like I'm about to fight right now. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. That's when the nerves started kicking in. I was like, holy shit, like it was just ignorance. They say ignorance is bliss. I was just ignorant to like the severity of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get there and then I knock the guy out in the first round. And then everyone's going crazy. And then even after, and the adrenaline and then like the bruises and the soreness, I was like, man, I love this so much. I fell in love with it, And then I went back to Staten Island, back to New York, and then like people taking pictures of me and like they were happy, like that was amazing. They're watching my videos and like so ecstatic about it. I'm like, man, this is insane. Like I fell in love with it. From that moment on, I was like, man, I want to do this. So I was training in Staten Island at a UFC gym. Wasn't really like the best gym to be training. And then I started asking around, like, where's the best gym? So then I found out Cerro Longo is the best gym. So from Staten Island, for people who don't know, I'll break it down. From Staten Island to Long Island, it's still New York, but it is about 40 miles. I don't know what that is in kilometers. Must be 100 miles. 100 kilometers.
100K.
I would
rough.
Yeah, about 100, I'd say. I would drive that every single day from Staten Island, 6 days a week, from Staten Island to Long Island, sit in 2 hours traffic because there's insane traffic in New York. I would go from Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, into Long Island. I would pass through all to get to training 6 days a week. And I was like, I'm committing to this. And then once I would work. Also, I was working construction.
Oh, wow.
From there, drive. I'm still drive an hour and a half to 2 hours in traffic to Long Island. And then train, get home. And I was in school at the time. So then I was just killing myself. And then there came a point where I was like, man, I'm going all in on this. I had saved up a bunch of money. I talked to Ally Quinta. I was like, man, how much does an apartment run for in Long Island? He was like, yo, bro, I have a room available if you really want this. I moved in with Al the weekend after he fought Khabib, and the rest was history, man. I've just been training full time ever since and really dedicating my life to it. You know, a few bumps, ups and downs in the road. I got sick with COVID that I thought was going to retire me. I was dealing with a lot of health issues, but thank God I'm finally over it. I got my confidence back, and I've been on a streak and
6-fight win streak.
6-fight win streak, yeah. And thank God, like I'm healthy, and I just give all my credit and glory to God before anything. And then to my team and hard work, and I give myself credit last. And you know, like we are the ones in there putting in the work, but it's everyone around you, around me, I should say, just helping and supporting the team, family. You know, my parents, my girlfriend. Like, uh, I just want to be able to give them everything that someone would want for themselves. You know, I want to be able to like retire my parents, give my future wife and kids a good home, everything paid for, make sure they never have to struggle. Like I just don't want my loved ones to struggle. Be able to help my team with anything they need. And then help Albania. These are the things I really, really want in life. And you know, young kids, like motivate young kids and inspire them and give them something to look forward to. So these are the things in my heart. And you know, like I said, whatever God's plan is, but all glory to God before anything, first and foremost. I'm sorry I went on a rant, but
no, honestly, that touched my heart, and you're gonna bring a tear to my eye. There's so many different points there, but the points about Albania, because you've seen True Capo building a gym in Kosovo, and with your girlfriend, with your family, it's everyone's dream to do that and to start the new wave of generation. You're a king, bro, honestly. Last few ones, because I swear I don't want to keep you too long.
No, I'm chilling. I'm enjoying this, bro. Please, as long as you want, honestly.
Oh, God bless you, man. Honestly, yeah. I'm just trying to stop from bringing a tear to my eye. Wow. I believe every Albanian's dream, or every person who comes from I wouldn't say a poorer country, because Albania's doing pretty well right now, but comes from a different background, a region where there's struggles there, and bringing family to new, like New York City. I think I can relate to you because my parents are both Albanian. They came from Elbasan and Tirana, and they came to London to give me a better life. I see us a bit parallel, man. I'm only London, you're New York, so similar guys. And yeah, just even with Paula, I see her. She was ringside for that last fight, and I swear to God, I saw it. The camera panned her as soon as you won. She put the chiffon up, and
yeah, yeah, she's funny, man.
yeah.
You know, like that's the point, man. Like you as a first generation, right? We're first generation. I was just having this conversation. We're first generation. Our parents, they struggled so much, man. They sacrificed so much. They went through so much. They suffered. And they gave up everything to leave to give us a better life. You know, people like you and I. So I want to be that person that people look to when they see me win and they see me in there, literally fighting for something better. To relate to me and to see something in that, and to get motivation off of that and inspiration. So that's really what it's about. That's what I look forward to. Yeah. That's what I try to give to people.
How many people are going to inspire? Not only Albanians, not only Kosovans, not only Eastern Europeans, Illyriana, but people who see. I remember on your live, you had a guy that was from I can't remember. I think it was the same nation as what was that fighter, Makwan Amerikani, like not Finland, but one of those Asian countries. You had so many different people, and if you're having so many different people at this level, honest to God, the next con, I'm not even going to say the next con, just DennisBuzukja, your own person. So what fighters inspired you growing up, and who would you describe your style as? Again, I say your own style is DennisBuzukja. When people go in 5 years, 10 years time, do you remember DennisBuzukja? Like you say, do you remember Mike Tyson? You're going to be known in the village, you're going to be known worldwide. But who did you look up to? And I know you're a huge fan of Conor McGregor and Stephen Thompson.
Man, I used to watch a lot of Mike Tyson growing up. I just loved his attitude in the ring. Believe it or not, the first fight I ever watched was McGregor and Eddie Alvarez. That was the first UFC fight I ever watched, you know, which is right now. It's crazy to say.
I think that's the same with me, to be honest, you know?
Yeah, I think McGregor got pretty much the whole world into it, but I don't know who I could say really What fighters inspire me? I would say a lot of people. I get a lot of comparisons to Peter Yan style, which is
Mm.
fucked up because he fought both of my teammates.
Oh, I love that.
But it was good because Aljo and Rob used me to help them emulate his style. But
Mm.
maybe Peter Yan style, I get comparisons to a lot. And then McGregor's counters, the way he counters straight shots and some. He's a counter like the way he slips and counters. I do that a lot too, so I get comparisons to that a lot. Besides that, man, I don't really know who I could compare myself to or who inspires me as a martial artist. No one's really coming to mind. I would say maybe Jan and McGregor as strikers are up there. I take what I can from everyone. I watch Habib, I watch Hamzat, I watch Izzy fight. I'll pick little things and put it into my game and just make it my own style.
That's beautiful, and I love that. One thing we've got recently, especially at your gym, we've got the two best bantamweights in the world, Aljamain and Merab. What is your opinion on them two not fighting, and what message does that show for brotherhood and showing materialistic objects and money is friendship is worth way more than money and materialistic objects?
Like I said, man, our team, we're a family. A real family. We don't just use that word. We don't bullshit it. We're brothers. We bleed together. We sweat together. We've helped each other grow and succeed and accomplish our dreams together. The fact that they won't fight each other for it shows like there's morals in the world. There's still humanity. There's more important things than money. Like money is not God. Unfortunately, for so many people in the world, money is their God. And Aljo and Maram, they won't put that first. And that's the code of ethics we live by in the gym. And if a person in the group or in the gym had a different type of belief in those ethics, then they wouldn't, or different morals, they wouldn't be in our circle. We all feel the same way. We all have the same morals and ethics, and that's what the world needs more of.
Yes.
Everyone complains. Everyone's complaining that then oh, like Madam Marab, he won't fight his friend, for money or for legacy. But that'll come, man. Nothing like we can't put a price on that type of stuff. You just really can't. There's no if someone doesn't agree with it, it's hard to really put it into words. You need to just believe it. But unfortunately, like I said, for a lot of people, money is their god, and they'll sacrifice a lot of morals and values. They'll put money before that. So I think money's not everything. Relationships, because what good is money if you sell yourself? What good is money? Money's just a tool. It's a worker.
I believe Rashad said it a few years ago now. I believe whilst Florian and him were both signed to Matchroom, or Florian's no longer signed there, they mentioned the fight or something. And he showed, no, I know it'd be a big stadium fight, but no, Albanians, we don't fight each other. And yeah, no. you see Merab and Aljo rocking up together at the fights, dressing like $1 billion. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Your career in 5 years' time?
5 years, I'll be 30 years old. I will be world champion. 30 years old, I will be at least UFC featherweight world champion. That's a guarantee. I can guarantee you that. And anyone watching this, I guarantee that.
I'd bet a lot of money on that. When I have the right amount of money, I'd put all of it on that. Yeah, we're going to be calling you Billionaire Buzukja soon because your bets are paying them big.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I know you've picked up.
Hey, man, that's not a long road. That. You go. Good.
Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. Everyone makes mistakes. So we were talking about Billionaire Buzukja. That's going to happen soon. You're not far off from that. I asked you about where you see yourself in 5 years' time. A few last questions I've got for you, Dennis, is just so the fans can get a little bit more of an insight on you. Who is DennisBuzukja outside the cage, and can you describe yourself as a person who you are? I know you've mentioned it a little bit, but just to catch up.
Man, there's really nothing special about me. I swear, I love hanging out with my family. Spending time with them more than anything. I don't really care about spending money. I care about just experiences and activities with them, like quality time with family, with my friends. One of my favorite things to do is just get with my friends, go to a coffee shop, have some coffee, and just talk and socialize and just laugh. I swear, I just love to do that. Besides training and fighting, that's really all I do. I'll just meet with my friends or people I care about just get together and just laugh and really just enjoy each other's company and time while we're here. Um, Other than that, I'm not really a materialistic guy. I don't look for that type of shit. So that's really what it is.
Um, what was I gonna say? UFC comes back to London July 22nd. It's either going to be a fight night or UFC 291. Would there be a possibility of getting you and Matt, or just you in particular, on that card? Because you've got a great Albanian fan base out here.
I mean, who knows? I would definitely love that. That would be sick. London's definitely a place I want to fight. I was just once this cut off, I just saw on Twitter there. I think it's going to be Leon Edwards and Colby Covington's the main event. So pay per
Wow,
view.
that would be
They're talking
amazing.
about it though. It's not official.
It's not
But it's in
official,
talks.
but Dana calls the shots.
Yeah, maybe Masvidal. Who knows? Maybe he knocks out Burns and then they'll do that.
Because they've got history. Leon, before he became the champ, the free piece and the soda. No disrespect to Leon,
Hmm.
but yeah, and that blew up big. Also, was there any possibility of getting you on this May 6th card, or was that just to blow Dana up on Twitter? Because you did have a lot of fans behind you for that, and you could have had three of the Saralonga team on that card.
I mean, it's not nothing's out of the realm of possibilities. I think if there is any chances, that would be the one for me to get on. But like I said, it just boils down to if someone gets injured and they call me short notice, especially somewhere in the East Coast, I'm the one that they'd call.
Mhm.
But we'll see, man. You never know. Kron Gracie, so far that I know, featherweights, Kron Gracie and Charles Jourdain, they're fighting on that card. So never say never, But it's not like there's been any talks of putting me on. My way of getting in now at this point is if they need me for a short notice opportunity to fill in for a fight, which I know, I understand the business aspect of it. I understand how the game works. So it is what it is. It's not ideal, but again, it is what it is. I just have to be ready for that.
To round off a great interview we've had, I'm just going to ask you to say any message to your UK, your US, your Albanian, and worldwide fans.
Man, I just love everybody. Thank you all for the support. I'm just grateful for it. I'm blessed to represent Albania and the people of our nation and our blood, because we have a very unique and special history throughout time. And anywhere we've been in the world, we never gave up our traditions or gave up who we are. And I'm blessed to be able on the world stage to represent that and raise that flag with pride and honor. Knowing how important these two aspects are in our culture. So I just thank everyone for the support, for their belief in me, and for being proud to have me be one to really represent the country and to really spill my blood in there for the flag and raise it and show what type of people we are. Uh, we're such a beautiful nation, and we have beautiful people all over the world, and
Mhm.
everyone knows who Albanians are, what type of unity we have and how we all, maybe I might fight with an Albanian, but the second someone else comes in the picture, we'll team up and be against that guy,
Yeah,
So, we may
100%.
have our own problems, but it's really Albania against the world. And
Yeah.
the nation and the culture as a whole respects and understands that. And I'm blessed to be able to represent people like this. So I'm honored more than anything. And I love it.
And I told you, I know we've only got so many millions, 5 to 10 millions Albanians out there. There's way more. But you're a 1 in a billion. You're a diamond. You're a star. And honestly, for me, and this isn't just a biasness. This is me talking. Go ask other people in the street. Go ask other people. I would not rather have anyone else in the world raise our flag as high as you do. And we've got names in this world. It's not just boxing. It's not just MMA. In football, we've got Jerdan Shaqiri, Granit Xhaka. In singing, we've got four of the best: Dua Lipa, Rita Ora, Bebe Rexha, and Ava Max. And gosh, and your name's going to be up there real soon. There's no one like us in this nation. As much as people want to see him as just global superstars, they all came from Albania. They all came from Kosovo, or Illyrian, the greater Albania. And so that really touched me. And I said again, I would not rather have anyone else raise the flag higher. Shkodran from New York, fighting in America, fighting just to build your career, just to become the superstar you're, invest in every single penny and every hard work. And I said again, many people can say it, that they'd be willing to pay money or they'd be willing to travel the journey, go a few hours here. Only the real ones that are going to put that into fruition and make that happen is those that can dedicate their life without having a reward immediately. Success doesn't happen overnight. You don't become an overnight sensation unless you're someone like Conor, but that's a 1 in a billion as well. And yeah, I think that's a great way to round off. Can you let your fans know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, just my name at DennisBuzukja, Buzukja, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all the same.
Dennis, I want to say thank you so much for your time. This really means a lot, brother. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Thank you for giving your time for this interview. I know you've got your brother fighting up right now in a few hours. And this has been not only one of my most proudest interviews, but one I'm going to be cherished. And when we look back in the future, we're going to say, I interviewed you. You're already big, man, but before you turned into the next Conor. So, yeah.
God willing, man. Thank you. I appreciate this time too, bro. Thank you for your time. Thanks for wanting to do this. And I'm going to look back on this one too as one of my favorites. So I really appreciate it.
God bless, brother. Take care.
God bless, champ. See you, champ.